Welcome back. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria on Channels Television. You can get all our top stories on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To view us live on your mobile device from any part of the world, just log on to m.channelstv.com on your mobile device. We're asking our viewers outside of West Africa to do so. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Oh, the race for the presidential race is on in Ghana. And Ghana's governing party, National Democratic Congress, has voted overwhelmingly to endorse President John Mahama's bid for a second term in office as elections draw near, setting the stage for a tight race between him and his main 2012 rival. Many expect the 2016 contest to be tough for President Mahama, whose administration is grappling with economic challenges and has signed a 3-year aid deal with the International Monetary Fund to restore fiscal balance. Now, President Mahama, who won 95.1% of the valid votes declared on Sunday, said the overwhelming renewal of his mandate had re-energized him to face the challenges and improve the livelihood of Ghanaians. Joining me with the latest on this developing story is Ghanaian broadcaster Vivian Mensah. She joins me now yeah. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa. Well, it looks like the race for the presidential elections is on in Ghana. The ruling National Democratic Congress votes massively to allow President Mahama run again, in spite of all your country is going through under him at the moment. What are your thoughts? Right. We're having technical issues. We cannot hear you well. I'm sure we'll try and connect back to you in the course of the program, but let's take our viewers through other stories on the bulletin. Delegations from 5 African countries are arriving in the Iranian capital, Tehran, for a global summit of gas exporting countries forum, GECF, which begins today. Nigeria, Algeria, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, and Libya will join other GECF members to review the current gas market outlook and discuss strategies for boosting production. Other members of the organization are Russia, Qatar, Bolivia, Iran, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, and the United Arab Emirates. The GECF members account for 42% of global gas output, 70% of global gas reserves, and 65% of global trade of liquefied natural gas. GECF is a gathering of the world's leading gas producers and was set up as an international governmental organization with the objective to increase the level of coordination and strengthen the collaboration among countries. Well, the forum is all about promoting natural gas, a clean, affordable, and sustainable, abundant fuel of choice. Now let's take you to Kenya. A group of Kenyan athletes have launched a protest against the sports embattled governing body, demanding its removal after allegations of widespread corruption. The IAAF has also revealed that it has been investigating alleged doping cover-ups in the country since March. Many Kenyan athletes have blamed the officials for failing to deal with doping in the sports. Well, the head of Athletics Kenya, however, says he plans to retire and has called for an early election next year. The Executive Council of Athletics Kenya was scheduled to hold what was billed as an important meeting this morning, which has now been aborted. Well, one of Morocco's cities is set to come alive at night next month as Moroccan authorities plan to launch a giant plant using energy from the sun. The solar thermal plant at Ouarzazate will harness the sun's warmth to melt salt, which will hold its heat, and to power a steam turbine in the evening. The first phase will generate for 3 hours after dark. The last stage aims to supply power 20 hours a day And this project is part of Morocco's pledge to get 42% of its electricity from renewables by 2020. The UN has praised Morocco for the level of its ambition. The UK, a much richer country, is aiming for 30% by the same date. Now, the Saudi-built Wazazatis solar thermal plant will be one of the world's biggest when it is completed. Well, the mirrors will cover the same area as the country's capital. Now, let's take a short break on Network Africa. When we come back, we'll take you through some other stories on the bulletin. Now, let's take you back to one of our leading stories about Ghana's elections. The race is on in that country, and I'm now being joined by Vivian Mensa from Ghana, who's going to give us the latest. Well, Ghana's ruling party has voted overwhelmingly to allow President Mahama run again in spite of all the challenges your country is facing. Tell us, what are your thoughts?
Well, like I was saying before, I'm not surprised. Hello, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Yes, like I was saying before, it's not really surprising that the supporters of the National Democratic Congress will vote overwhelmingly for President Mahama to be affirmed. It was something that was expected. But what is interesting to note is that besides the affirmation that came up to about 95%, over 66,000 supporters of the NDC are believed to have voted no for the president, which is something that is becoming topical here, with the opposition saying that even within your house, people don't want you to be in power. And it obviously shows that in the 2016 election, the president will be voted out. But for the affirmation, it was something that was expected. Now, the party would also want to, present a united front to show that President Mahama really want him to lead the party to win the 2016 election. So it was something that was expected. Now, if you remember, prior to the affirmation election coming on, there was one contender that showed his face, showed interest in, contending with the president, but in the end, the individual, I've forgotten his name, was pulled out of the race. So he didn't really go far in making his ambition a reality. So the affirmation is not much of a surprise, 95%. Now, Atta Mills at the time, the president that we lost some years back, got over 97%, I believe. So Mahama's figure is a bit below what Mills had done previously, but it's still a good figure, and I think they're good to go.
The 2016 contest to be tough for President Mahama. Do you share the same thoughts, and why?
Well, exactly. It's going to be a tough election for President Mahama, especially what is happening currently in the country in terms of economic challenges. Now, a lot of people were expecting things to be better from after getting the baton from President Mills when he died. Now, currently, the cedi is not doing well. It's been depreciating. It's stabilized a bit for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, but it's still not one of the best performing currencies in Africa, and for that matter, the world. Inflation still goes up by the month. We've seen it going up from a single-digit figure from last year to a double-digit figure. We are seeing it at over 17%, which is not a good thing for anybody in business. And it becomes difficult for business people to take decisions, especially when they don't know how inflation is going to perform or how the cedi will perform. So that is not doing well. Now, you look at other challenges facing the economy, including the power crisis, which has led to a lot of companies, going under. We've seen a lot of people losing their jobs because of the power crisis. And the power crisis hasn't been solved as we speak. Now, President Mahama, a couple of months back, did say that he intends to solve the problem before the end of the year. We've got a month more to go, and still people, as I speak to you, people haven't gotten light for about 24 hours or so. So these challenges, which the opposition is using to make a point to say, oh, look, this is somebody who is in power, hasn't done much for you. You are facing power crisis. The city is not doing well. The economy is performing doing badly, you're struggling, etc. Why don't you kick him out? Give us a chance to, do things better. So it's going to be a tough one, especially if people want to try the other person to see whether they can perform better. Don't forget that usually when it comes to the elections, the figures are almost the same for the two parties. What is in the middle, which is a floating voters, is about 1 million votes. So the competition is for the two to grab the 1 million votes to get the extra votes added onto either party.
Right.
So the competition is trying to pull these floating voters and quite a number of middle-class people here and there to convince them that, wait a minute, this guy cannot do the job we expect him to do, so give us the chance. That's with the opposition, to make things better for you.
Right. Well, Vivian Mensah, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this developing story. We'll definitely keep an eye on the Ghana elections and see how that pans out, whether it is going to be President Mahama again or another contender. We'll just wait and see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, too, for having me.
Well, that's Network Africa this hour. Before I let you go, I have a question for you, and this is it. What are your thoughts on Morocco's planned solar-powered city, set to be one of the biggest in the world? What are your thoughts on Morocco's planned solar-powered city, set to be one of the biggest in the world? Send your answers to networkafrica@channelstv.com or find me on Twitter @adeshawajosh and let me know what your thoughts are. That's Network Africa once again. Thanks a lot for watching. I am Adeshawa Josh and I will see you tomorrow.